All right.
Okay, staff job descriptions. I handed everybody out this stuff. What I wanted to do with this, I wanted us to kind of look at, and maybe this is something we've better done on our own time, but I wanted the board to be able to look at this and get an idea of what
10 people do.
possibly.
Still very recent.
Yeah,
What
okay.
10 people do, that's what it is.
Yeah, well, the board needs to be, and got an absentee board.
Yeah, we're recording though, right? You think any of them care enough to listen?
No.
I didn't think so. So that's part of what I want to talk about. We got to get members off.
Yeah.
Anybody except the people in this room, because obviously you care enough to be here, who have been on the board for more than 2 years, were you here when Ed was out? Oh, you're awesome. Thank God.
You started.
Wow, you're a human being.
Yeah.
Anyone who was on before is suspect because I'll wait for my turn. It won't take long.
Well, hold on, this
This is exactly what it pertains to the busy work you could assign us.
okay, no, we'll let you talk in just a second, but I'm also starting to think that we need the board in on this and their absentee right now.
Yeah.
And so that's.
So you want to give me a month to prepare? That's a dangerous thing. Because I wrote this about 5 minutes ago.
So I think.
No, well, we talked about this in meeting in May, actually.
We talked about this, Phil. Rank, you made a decision to hire this gentleman.
No,
Yes,
job
yes, we did.
descriptions?
Yes, job descriptions, yes. And why 4 of us are filling 11. Yeah, we did talk about that.
I don't know.
Perhaps
what
you don't
you're
remember.
talking about.
Ian and I spoke about it as well, at length. Ian doesn't remember you. Because he has better things to do, and Ian needs to resign from this board, as do you. And as do anyone that was here when the board president oversaw her niece go from payroll to the highest paid employee, and then allow and defend her niece as her niece torpedoed the organization and used a MacGuffin to get Ed to resign. Anyone that was here at that time has got to resign. You've got to be gone. Get you gone. Find a replacement. That is what everyone that I spoke with from our past did. 2 years, and then if we don't have a seat, yes, stay. But we need to.
Now, Jacob, you gotta understand, those of us that stayed were the ones that tried to mitigate the damage from all that.
Yeah, and by mitigating it, you hired this gentleman who has only
And we've got.
only extended all. I'm sorry, what was
Faith
that?
in him.
Yeah, you have faith in him, but for no reason.
No,
Because you aren't in the building.
absolutely not. We have faith in him for many years.
So you're gonna raise your voice higher than me, Phil? That won't work. Yeah, good thing we don't have a quorum, man. Please step down as soon as possible. I will speak later, but know now that this isn't some enjoyable discussion.
Okay,
We have
why
issues
don't you
to
just give us the
discuss.
bullet points? How
We
about
need
that?
okay, what the bullet points, fine. As you may have seen from the busy work that you thought you could assign, Skip et al.
Who is you? Who is you? Define you.
I'm speaking, Bill. Do you know how this works? Your Honor? Yeah. Skip et al. The people in this room, and remarkably, the person that this gentleman hired, miraculously, she doesn't do her job, as you can see. She doesn't do the thing that he hired her for, but she is filling the roles of the 11 people that this organization needs to fill.
Okay, so you're basically.
Why are you interrupting, Phil?
All right,
Come on. Thank you. It's 5 minutes, man. Can you sit? You want to close that, or you need it? I'm sure all of us have applied for jobs that we had no business applying. I imagine that some of us are occupying those jobs right now. But I would give you the benefit of the doubt, and knowing you, I don't have to. I know that when you got that job, you did everything you could to meet its requirements. Am I right? That's what you do at work, right? You try to meet the requirements of the job. You try to learn everything that you can to be a good fit, right? For that role. Yes, you do. We all do. I've done it. I didn't do it here because I've been here for 16 years. And I started as a member and I looked around and I had a paycheck one day and I've never left. But that paycheck hasn't grown in 5 years and our staff has shrunk. Okay? Ed and AOC. When I came to Lafayette, before I moved to Lafayette and I visited AOC because I heard about it, I thought the twain were one. And he really, have you met Ed?
Yeah, so I've met it.
He is boorish and gross.
Can I interject?
No, you cannot.
Okay.
But he did the job and he somehow, like through this spiritual inertia, crafted a team that could keep doing the job after half of them left. We still do the job of it. No one, AOC hadn't been in the news in a while in a bad way. And it has been in the news in bad ways. And people love to read news about bad stuff. And I could ask, what does one do in a situation where the person hired for this position cannot fill it? Not only cannot fill it, but a year after he started, finally schedules a meeting at 4 or 4:30 with this gentleman and myself to discuss the nighttime and weekend hours. Because nothing's going on the night and weekends. Well, that's strange. So we come in and we prepare to have this meeting, which becomes a fight, which this gentleman is kind enough to play good cop. And when the producer who has a live show at 5 comes and the door is locked because we have 4 people, and this gentleman doesn't have the Ring app on his phone and so doesn't know. Comes in this building every day for a year, locks the door behind him, and won't know if a person from the public is curious about us. Doesn't answer his phone either. Lets it go to voicemail, so he seems important. So, what would one do in this situation? I would think that we would do the same thing as we did with that, right? We would say, hey, you're still one of us, right? You're still our friend. We don't want this in the news. So, how about a nice, soft December 1st date? A nice 2 years since Ed submitted his resignation. For this person not only to have done so, but for this body to get its stuff together, to reformulate the hiring thing that he did last time. And if you are so lucky as that person in there with a master's in media studies who has worked here for 12 years, not to mention the other master's holder, the black girl who worked here for 6 or 7 or 8 years, who earned her master's while working here, who also put her name in the hat, who you decided to hire, the only person incapable, the only person who doesn't live here, man. What do you think? Why do you think it's nice that the employees live close? We got a server room, we got no money. We used to have more people, it was a little easier. But as you can see, I'm a bit afraid. And I have not, as yet, lent any of this knowledge to any of those names. But those are the names on that board, man. Those are the names y'all were talking about trying to get our rent reduced. That is an easy thing for me to have asked. I didn't know that that was the thing we were trying to do. I also have told this board, you personally, this person, countless times, Ed, but he's also a moron, that this gentleman and myself, if we're not angry, and if perhaps my income doesn't go down every check because inflation, perhaps I could put a tie on too. Perhaps we could approach the names I mentioned and all of our other friends with pockets and say, I believe in AOC because I do. And hey, the tax season's almost over. Oh, no, wait. That's when I bring it up every June and every November or December, and no one listens. That's when you approach people who have money, that's when you approach people with money. We approach people with money, people. That's how you get money. not trying to start a business for a day. And not hiring an employee who, thank God, can do the jobs we need and not grant right. So that is the conclusion. That is what needs to happen. I assume this gentleman, going by his resume, is already perusing Monster. So let's just let that play out. But know, sir, that your time here must have a limited horizon. You are not capable of serving any of our needs. And not only that, you are not capable of performing one of the roles that we do. You want to know how I know? Because when I came back that night, after we had our meeting, and I was coming to check on the live show, the Champions of the Truth, 25 years strong, probably close to 30, really. And I come up, park, and I see his car. That's really still the champs are not. Go ahead, check this out. He's making noises. I say, listen, man, it would really help us if you started to learn what we do, to meet the people we interact with, come in, I'm about to go bring the champs in, stay for 5 minutes, chat with them, just see what the initial setup looks like, walk out. I walk out and I usher them in quickly. Slink down. And then he grabs.
1 o'clock, by the way.
What's that? Okay, good, perfect.
5 minutes left.
Ball's in your court, man.
All right. Well, that's quite a bit.
It's not, it's very simple, and we've been trying to tell you this.
You know,
But it ain't gonna last much longer, man. If one more is gone, we're gonna lose it. And trust me when I say people are trying to hire Skip. And this guy could easily, all of us could get other jobs. We're here because we believe in this mission, man. My check doesn't cover my rent. I get paid for 2 weeks. That doesn't pay 1 month of rent. That's what I make. I make what I made in 10 years ago.
So given your intuition, how many more employees would AOC need?
Honestly, if this person wasn't here, one capable executive and one more, and we can do it. And the truth is, Skip, who in his interview, asked if he would be put on a probationary period. Great idea, right? They didn't do that, but that's what we'll do when we do hire Skip. Put him on a probationary period. Give him 75% of pay. Only get, $6 or $7 grand bump until 6 months, and you evaluate him and make sure things are going well, and then give him the damn money. Don't even give him what this person did. Give him, bump it. Let's see how he does. But that person very clearly can run the place, because the only reason that a lot of people aren't pissed off in this town at the board of AOC, again, like has happened many times in the past, is because we have decided it's do or die. And so we just constantly communicate so that 4 looks like 10. That's not going to happen forever, Phil. If that's what you want to see, you want to preside over the actual decay of this place, you be in good company, because Kathy, a name that shall not be named, true, vile. The fact that none of you had the ethics to question after that was known. Her niece goes from payroll to 50 grand a year, 60. What was it at the end? It was a ton of money. We were worried. Trying to do your job, bro. Like me. He finally cared for like a minute the other day, but I knew that wouldn't last. We need new board members. We need a new boss.
That's a great segue into our next item of business, is to call.
Alyssa's in the waiting room.